Hello everyone, Dynamo here. Welcome to another episode of Hot 4. Reminder, some content that I may show you may be inappropriate for some viewers. So, if you're not interested, I advise you to leave. Today's character, we'll be talking about the wonderful Blaze Fielding from the video game beat 'em up, Streets of Rage 4. But before we begin, I'd like to give an honorable mention to a pair of baddies from Streets of Rage 3. Bosses at stage 2 named Mona and Lisa. These are some pretty unique looking ladies. They look like a cross between background dancers and bikers because of their wild hair and skin tight spandex. Yeah, skin tight spandex was a big thing in the 80s and early 90s. But I have to say this, I really hate their boss fight because they jump around too damn much and they're hard to hit or do their double team moves. The first thing I stare at is their thighs. And one more thing about them. Here's their concept art that was done for Streets of Rage 4. They look quite cool and they could fit into the game, but at the same time, their outfits do look a bit dated. Again, this is concept phase. Not everything makes it into the final game. Alrighty then, let's get back to the wonderful, lovely Blaze Fielding. Let's see. According to her bio, she used to be a police officer who was expelled because she got into a heated argument with her commissioner. She ended up punching him in the face. So afterwards, she became a dance instructor and is also a private detective. Alright, let's get on with her gameplay. Blaze is considered a all-around character because of her solid damage output, her average movement speed, but she possesses great jump distance and height. She has excellent range on her normal attacks and special attacks, so she can cover a lot of ground and air. She also has one of the best combo juggles and combo links, so overall, she can put out some very high damage as long as you connect all of her attacks. According to her fighting style, it's Judo. As you can see, her throws, they are very high damaging, and they also have an area effect, so they can cover a lot of ground, knocking enemies over. Which is kind of odd though, even though she has Judo, her fighting style also kind of resembles two Street Fighter characters in my opinion, Chun-Li and Cammy, from her high flying kicks and her, fireball. So overall, Blaze is recommended for intermediate players. Okay, onto her design. I would describe Blaze's overall aesthetic is that she embodies late 80s to early 90s through the music, culture, and fashion at that time. For example, the late 80s, there were music genres like new wave, techno, electronica, synth, and the fashion that comes out of it was big and bright. But she also has that early 90s touch to her, which has a bit of a minimalist style. You know, keep it simple and revealing a lot of skin. Let's not forget, Blaze also represented the rave subculture back in the days, which blossomed during the 90s. So it kind of juxtaposed with her overall design. Finally, what I like about Blaze? Well, I cannot argue that when you think of a beat 'em up game, a female character in particular, the first person to pop up in my mind is Blaze. Why? Because like Chun-Li, who was the first woman in fighting games, Blaze Fielding is the first woman in beat 'em ups. Though that can be argued, but I'm just gonna stick with my statement. But yeah, she's a bombshell. She's a complete package. Looks, athletic, great body, cool personality, I think. She's badass. She has that bad girl vibe. When you first look at her, like, yeah, she's a bad girl. At the same time, who can totally kick your ass. She has a bit of that 90s background dancer look, and I like how the developers really kept that throughout the whole game. Is that her legs are thick, they're juicy, and whenever time she does a high kick or jump kick, of course, you can see her undergarments right up in there. That's intentional by the game developer's point of view. Plus, she wears a tube top, shows a lot of her midriff, a lot of her cleavage. That's what's great about Blaze, that she's a lot of flash and flare, and substance, and style. Overall, luscious. Sorry, no fan out here. I gotta keep this part to a minimal. So, stick around. I'll be covering Cherry Hunter in my next video. Thank you all for watching. Dynamo out. I like how the developers add this color palette. I call it Latina Blaze. I know that sounds terrible. I'm sorry.